What is up, you amazing people? It is Nima here, and I have a video for you that is sort of like a part one. Now, I gotta explain just briefly. There's been a ton of sales, right? And there's been a lot of big name games of 2023 that maybe some of them were a little pricey. So I just waited until they went on sale, and that's when I picked them up. But I figured before the year ends, why not talk about them? Why not discuss some of these? And in here, I've got two games that honestly I'd never heard of really until the Game Awards, until people started talking about them. So enough with all this junk, let's just get on with the video. Now, first game I want to talk about is God of Rock. Now, this is a game that, honestly, I didn't hear about. Like, I feel like I knew it existed, and I knew that there was something with the mechanics, but I didn't know the name. It was just one of the many titles that I was probably busy doing something else or working on a different game and just kind of passed it over. Part of me also believes that I don't think I knew it was available for the Nintendo Switch, and then forgot the name. And it wasn't until the Game Awards that I actually saw that this was the game that I thought it was or wasn't. I don't know. Again, it's a fighting game with like a Guitar Hero type mechanic where you have to hit the right buttons in the right sequences to actually do damage. It's a really cool idea. They actually extend that with some very good character design. Some that are, I would say, adjacent to rock icons or music icons in general. There's a couple that I've definitely figured out, and then there's a few I have no idea who they are, but I get what they're trying to do. And one of the really cool things they do is just the art direction they go in. It is that like almost cartoony style that still allows it to be well defined and look really good on something like the Nintendo Switch, as well as keep up with some really high fast combat. I never saw an issue when it came to like frame rate or anything of that nature. Again, I do pretty much exclusively play in handheld, so maybe if you put it on the big screen you might have some issues, but I didn't notice anything. Now at the same time though, you don't have your eyes completely available to look at the screen, and I don't know how much of it is, I'm not going to say predetermined or animated, but you're looking at the bottom where all the notes are flying and you're trying to focus in on that. So if there was some stuff, I probably didn't see it because I was just trying to focus on nailing those Guitar Hero skills. But nevertheless, I think the idea is really good, and I thought the experience was really fun. Now, I had a couple issues with the game though, namely very nitpicky issues that maybe are just personal to me, but one of them I think most of the general audience would agree with, and it's the fact that there's not much of a storyline. I think that is a cool idea, but once you get past the idea of battling, dueling Guitar Hero style, there's not much left there. Yeah, there's somewhat of a story, but it's very flimsy and it's silly and it's fun. It gives you some sort of motivation, but not nearly what it could be. And I have to say, the dueling on Guitar Hero is also something that me and my cousin did for like years, so it's not such a new thing. It's just, having the characters actually fight, okay, and that's cool. I actually really appreciate that, but I think they could have done more to develop a story. And while I'm on that kind of complaint, I have to say too, the music. Alright, one of the big things that we loved about Guitar Hero was the music. I mean, that's what made the game such a fun party game, is you could hang out with your friends, listen to music, and feel like you were actually playing the instruments. And as a guitar player, I can tell you, some of the things really did kind of mirror the actions of playing guitar. Was it like playing guitar? No, but there were some things in there that, for continuity, it was in there. But it didn't really matter in this one, because most of the music, in fact, all the music, where some of it might have been good, you've never heard of and you're not really familiar with. And I think that that's something that maybe they could work on down the road. I understand that costs money, but there is a lot of independent artists out there who I think you could work with. It's not like you have to go to Metallica now. There's bands like Anti-Flag and I think Bad Religion and Pearl Jam that are indie. And then, there's also like rap artists like Echo, Tech9, people like that you could work with that I don't think would charge you an arm and a leg to use their songs. But again, let's see which way that goes. It was just something I noticed that kept the game from being played multiple times when hanging out with my friends. It was, I think, something that would have propelled it if we were all listening to music, having fun, relaxing and all that, to, let's just play it for a little while, and then the idea gets sort of bored and we turn it off. Now, the other game that I did check out, though, is a game called Space for the Unbound. Now, this is the one I completely missed. I think I heard about it, but there's just so many games you forget, and some might look like something else. And this is one of those games that I remember seeing and hearing about it, but I thought it was more like an interactive novel, those big point and click adventure style, or just simply reading games. But that is not this game in the slightest. No. Whether you're trying to stealthily skip out of school, trying to stop people from having a mental breakdown as they think that they're cats, or you're just trying to maybe avoid touching your new girlfriend's hand in a movie theater. There's a lot for you to do, and it just feels good. This is one of those games that I wouldn't say is super action-packed, but there is enough there that definitely keeps you busy, but the story is very engaging, and at times it's very cozy and charming. And, you're hanging out with your girlfriend, and you guys are trying to basically find a shelter for a cat and get it some food and take care of it. And you're trying to have a bucket list before, the end of the summer, before the end of the school year, I forget. But you're going through all this kind of stuff that is just almost, like I said, almost charming and cutesy. But at the same time, she has a superpower that she's been keeping from you and everyone else. And you're also having to deal with just a lot of other school bullies, annoying people, and a lot of other issues that come about when you're just a high school student, as well as another big issue that I don't want to get into because I don't want to ruin any story for anyone, but I'll just say that it is a very, very interesting situation. But I think one of the big reasons why this game didn't pop, or it really didn't get a conversation started about it, was just because, honestly, it's hard to know how to describe this game. Even I myself am trying to tell you guys about it. I've re-recorded this 4 or 5 times because I'm just not really sure what to say. There is a lot of interacting with other people and NPCs, as well as decisions that you make just in ordinary conversation, and a lot of the game plays out through that. There's also a lot of puzzle solving, an insane amount, honestly. But there's also the life sim aspect that you see in Shenmue and games like that, where you're kind of going around, you're collecting little toys and trinkets, and you're also just talking to people and just living that kind of life while you're also on a date with your girlfriend and hanging out with her and getting to know her, all this sort of stuff going on. And yeah, it's hard to explain why this game is cool and why this game is fun and interesting, because when you say it like that, there's many games that are kind of like that, or it sounds kind of dull, honestly, but it's definitely not. There's a lot here. And I can see why so many people really liked it. And it's possible that I'm also just bad at describing games, but I really do feel like this is one of those games that enough people missed out on because it was kind of hard to nail down. Especially when you're looking at games like Cocoon or Dredge or so many other indie darlings that have blown up this year. They're all a little bit easier to discuss. This one, not so easy. It's sort of like Thirsty Suitors, where you almost have to experience to understand it, and even that one is a little bit easier to explain and to get people to understand why it's so cool, and this one doesn't even have that, but it is a really good game. But at these two games, I definitely wanted to talk about the fact that I think God of Rock is something I'm excited for the sequel. I'm excited to see what they do with it past this. And as a game itself, at $20, I think it's a bit high, honestly. I bought it on sale for $10, and I thought that was a good price for it. But even at that, I played it maybe a couple times, went through, beat the entire game, and then I was just kind of done with it. Because once you do that run, there's not much else to keep you going back. It's not like a Mortal Kombat where you want to really master a character, or the fact that there's just so much content in a Mortal Kombat. But I think I've put in about 2 to 3 hours in the game, and I feel like I'm done with it. I don't need much more. So yeah, I like it. I like the direction. I think that they got something to start with that's really good. But yeah, I don't know about the $20 price tag. And as far as the space for Unbound, I think this game is great. You should definitely pick it up if you're thinking about it, or at least wishlist it and wait for a sale. But it's something I definitely wouldn't miss out on, and I highly recommend. Now, I did want to let you guys know I have 1 or 2 more videos like this where I'm going to talk about Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat 1, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, Lego, 2K1 Lego, the racing game, and I think that's it. There might be 1 or 2 more games that I picked up recently just because they're on a super deep discount. But yeah, I just wanted to do this as sort of house cleaning. Hey, before 2024 hits us, I want to at least talk about some of these games, and some of them are on sale. So I'm definitely going to try to get the Hogwarts Legacy out soon, because I know that that game is on sale for maybe another 10 to 12 days, something like that. But, yeah, we're going to try to shoot for this weekend. Anyway, take care, everyone. Love y'all. Bye-bye.